Airtime Prime.
Welcome back.
Check.
Welcome back to the greatest show of the century.
What makes it a great show?
What makes it a great show? Because like things break and then we have to adapt.
So welcome back to Airtime Prime. How are you? How are you doing, Leo?
I'm doing great, man.
You've been missing for the last 2 episodes.
I know. It's been mad. That schedule's been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened to your microphone?
What happened to my mic? I kind of broken up. Obviously, sometimes things happen and technical difficulties and.
You know what's looking like a technical different right now?
What?
He is.
Anyway.
I thought he was gonna say my hairline, innit? But it's good he didn't.
No, but
do that.
hairline is one though.
Yeah.
Anyway, today we have
Turkey.
two guests, the youngest coaches in the building. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, and thank you for coming today.
No worries, bro. No worries.
All right,
So-
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It's nice
So-
to have you guys.
Kenny and Lefano. Did I say it right?
Nathaniel,
Nathaniel.
capital. Yeah.
Just like that.
Huh?
He said O and he said Lafanu, innit?
Nathaniel.
Yeah, it's an
make
Insta.
the whole name capital. Why not?
This is
I'm trying not to scream in it. I'm trying not to scream in it, but let me just hold this one.
This is a
out.
great
Run it.
start. Hey, you know we're not cutting this as well. Like he's like running, he's like rerun it. This is we're not cutting. This.
We're not cutting. We're going straight in.
Yeah, this is straight. Listen, this is raw, man.
This is
we're
raw,
gonna,
raw footage, raw thing. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, man. You know, it's just a bit weird lockdown. And then, what do you might think when there's COVID? I don't think it's real. You know. Should
You
I
don't
talk like
think-
this?
you
'Cause that's
don't-
not how I talk about. Yeah.
You don't think it's real?
I mean, no, there's an element of it that is real, but I think it's just been exaggerated. But I'm not here to talk about COVID. So yeah, I'm alright. I think I'm just dealing with a few stuff, but like I've always said, like no matter what you're going through in kind of life, like whatever adversity is kind of like thrown in your way, like there's always opportunity, there's always learning from it. You just gotta choose to see it if you want coming from. So yeah.
What was the first one lockdown and what's the second lockdown? What different between these two? What kind of major thing do you see?
Ooh. Well, I think that the first lockdown, the first 2-3 weeks, I was procrastinating. I was like, do I really want to work? Do I really want to do I want
Still
to
on.
sleep? Do I want to play PS4 or whatnot? And then I start to explore different skills, like whether it be photo editing, developing websites, programming, whatever it would be. I start like improving my skills, and then the lockdown that's come right now, I've been able to like really put my skills into action and like make a living out of it. So I think that, yeah, I appreciate this lockdown. As negative as it may sound. Whoa,
Why you stuttering, bro?
whoa.
No,
Don't go-
it's
don't go-
it's
get-
like
get
I
like that
believe as the second one is very productive for majority people. I would say because you learn from the first one and it was like shit, we didn't prepare for it. But second one, like you know what I mean, you're prepared for it.
I can't lie. I agree with Nathaniel. I feel like even though as misfortunate as this this whole like global pandemic thing is, but there's always opportunities and ways to develop and grow stronger, regardless of what. Obviously, he was talking about adversities and stuff, and I feel like because of those, like, do you know what? I see challenges as opportunities, like to grow. And even though like some of them can be painful, they can be difficult sometimes, but at the end of it, it's like we're only gonna grow stronger. Like then other things are not gonna phase us too much after that. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
So what you guys do? How should people know you? Like what do you guys do? Your coach, your youngest coach in Fight for Peace, and also you as well. So how can people know you? Like, what? Introduce yourself.
I think do you know what? Can I just like jump in quickly as well? And I think let's try to think a bit bigger. Obviously, I don't think it's just like within Fight for Peace, and I don't think it's just like within a certain place. I just feel like sometimes like people might know you guys as coaches or whatever, but I feel like you guys do much more than that anyway.
Of course.
So
Yeah, definitely.
This is why I wanted to ask you. How do you introduce yourself to the audience? Like,
Oh, I don't know. You know,
how would you introduce it? Let's say you're meeting someone for first time, and then what would you say?
it
who you
depends
are?
because I don't know because the way I kind of have like different introductions for myself depending on the background I'm in. So if it's like within a sporting kind of background, I'll be like, yeah, I'm a lead coach, work directly with young people, and like I'm a fitness model and work with elite athletes. But then if I'm in a corporate background, it's a bit weird because I do some corporate stuff with like different corporate organizations and stuff like that. And then if I'm just talking about myself to like other young people, I just introduce myself as Kenny or Zeno because that's what most people know me as. I think everything else about me kind of comes after. You kind of find that out. So yeah. So I think first thing that's important is my name. So my name is Kenny or Zeno, whichever one you want to call me by. And yeah, I think I'm a young person, not trying to blow my own trumpet, but I'm a young person. I'll say is breaking barriers that shouldn't be broken within the area and background I come from. Yeah, in a nutshell.
Nice. I like it. What about you?
Well,
My young apprentice.
I mean, yeah, I'm one of the lead coaches for the juniors in 5Ps. So I work directly with young people as well, from all different types of background. I specifically work within the boxing background, trying to get young boxers to become amateurs at elite level, and that's within the boxing background. In terms of competing, like I deal with programming, app development, web development, whatever is but in cut this.
No, how do you? No, it's good. It's okay. It's
calm, bro.
okay. It's okay. Don't worry. So, how did you guys got involved in boxing? Like, what made you get into boxing?
I might as well let you go first because mine's a bit more, winded.
How did I first get into boxing? I mean, my first coach was Jeremiah, in 5 Apiece. I started boxing with him, and for around 2 years, and then within the period of me boxing, I also did judo, very unorthodox sport. Not many people really know about it. It's not really well funded by the government within the UK, so it's very hard to really make it in judo. But it didn't really stop me from competing. But then I transferred into boxing, and I passed my qualifications, did all my qualifications to become a coach, and yeah,
That's
now
pretty amazing.
and running 2 years, I'm coaching in boxing. So
What about you? Like, what's the niche that you like? Yeah, I need to do boxing or become a coach.
I think I didn't really have a choice to do boxing. So I was, in a nutshell, a handful growing up. Like a handful. I think Leo's there smiling.
Yeah.
I was a problem.
Proper child.
Not even a child. Like I was older than I should have been, but the way I would respond to stuff was very reckless. It's like I didn't have a care in the world when I was growing up, so it was weird. But it was weird that I didn't have that, but I was still competing in different sports such as athletics and football. So I was then I left my first school. I left St. Bon's, might as well just say it, and went to Cumberland. And then when I got to Cumberland, I remember just joining the team, the football team and the athletics team, and and then it was kind of there that I was then told, try boxing, Bear in mind, I've been going to 5 Ps since I was a kid, so I didn't really take part in boxing. I learned the stuff that I needed to, but I didn't take it up. I didn't compete. I just that's that. So it was weird because I remember just being told that if I don't go there or if I don't access the support that's given to me from there, that my school life will be very difficult. And I thought, I might as well firm it. It's 5 Ps. I've been there for time. Let me go see what it's saying. And I got there, and it was weird because you were on about the same person, Jeremiah. And I'm someone that I did not. For you to tell me something, for me to do it, it must correlate with me. If it didn't correlate with me, I was never doing it.
Is it because of your background, or is it something that
You're just stubborn.
I was just stubborn. Yeah. So I think I was when I say I was ahead of my time, I was from a very, very young age. It might be how I was brought up by my parents, but see, in the school and the education system, they teach you that, the way it is that teachers just demand respect. And I was the one that would flip the question and said, you can't demand my respect if I'm not getting respect from you. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And they didn't like that. A lot of teachers didn't like that. I would challenge them on stuff, and because growing up, you're not naturally meant to
problem
challenge.
student, I would say.
Yeah, you're not naturally. I wouldn't say I was a problem, but I would say I would challenge, and because naturally I was breaking the norm where you're not meant to challenge your teachers, I became the target. Do you know where I'm coming from? I became the problem. So I started, and it was weird because I never used to listen, but it was ironic. Jeremiah would be shouting at me doing 50 presses. In my head, I'm thinking I could really walk out, but there was just something that just said, do it. And I don't know what it was. Till today, I can't explain to you or put a pinpoint this was what it was that said, because I could have just been I'm gone. No one's stopping me. To try to catch me, good luck. I could run for days. So, but something kept me and was like, nah, stay. And it was that little tick that said, this ain't bad, It got to my head a little bit as I started developing, as I started winning a couple stuff, and I was like, rah, I can actually quaff man's jaw on it. And I was just like,
no way.
And then, but I think it was that element of discipline that I never really had that was given to me within that
Yeah,
sport.
boxing
And then-
give you a discipline.
And then I think it was just from there I kind of like applied that to everything else that I did. I mean, it wasn't a smooth journey because even with the boxing, I was still messing about. I was still doing something, but there was an element of it that was just not the same as before. So yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. That's really amazing journey that you take on. What do you say?
What did I say?
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's an amazing journey, man. Do you know what? I because I kind of know you like
Yeah, I know.
too well. I don't wanna, don't wanna start speaking on behalf of you. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's more important that you kind of share your story.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be a bit more modest.
Yeah.
What about you? What kind of challenges that you guys faced during this COVID journey, like that you guys been through, like from the first one to second one? Like what kind of obstacle that you come over and then like, yeah, I need to do stuff better.
Can I ask a slightly different question?
Go on.
Very different direction. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Your modeling
Oh,
career.
you're a waste man.
No, hold on,
Yeah.
hold
You're
on.
a waste man.
No, I was gonna
You're a waste
go to
man.
that.
Oh my days!
I was-
So you wanna draw him man out? Yeah.
Nah, but look,
No,
look,
I was gonna go to that.
Yeah.
look. Like, there's gonna be people watching this, and that. So
No, yeah,
Cool.
there's gonna be people watching this, and like there's gonna be some ladies on, and they're gonna be like, yeah, like these two.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
really, You're gonna be like, these two are like really handsome lads. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
So,
they-
Bro,
So-
nah, he's a face man, you know.
Nah, you see me.
no, I know about you as well. Don't worry. I'm coming to you too.
Nah, man,
you know?
He's a face man, man.
Me and like cameras and that, it's long.
Why you lying for, man?
Yeah,
Tell the
yeah.
truth.
It's long.
So anyway,
just relax, just have a water and then take a deep breath.
yeah,
It's
just,
fine.
Yeah.
just have a water and relax,
Yeah,
my
man,
guy.
so it's fine.
But
Yeah,
shout
go
out
ahead.
to
Yeah.
Corporate UK.
So yeah, like obviously,
Oh,
as a friend, I know that you got some modeling photos up on your Instagram and stuff. So I was always curious. I've never even asked you in in real life aside from a podcast, like how much like female attention did those like pictures generate, and did you get any kind of like interesting DMs and stuff like. And I'm just curious. Just I've never been in. I've never understood the modeling world, and
let's start with a message request.
All right, cool. So
Before you get into that, how did you get into modeling?
modeling.
Yeah.
Do you know what was? I blame my mum. Cause where I'm the now big man because I'm the only boy. My mum I don't know. I became such a mummy's boy, innit? And my mum would I remember when I first wanted my ears pierced, my mum was like, no, don't get that. You're handsome. We don't do that in our culture. Don't, I don't want you to do it. And because she kept saying no, I said, no, I'm getting it. Because I don't know, I saw growing up, I used to just see bare movies. I used to see all these man with an ear pierced. I said, man, what's that? I want that. And then, I got it. And then, bow, my mum tried to rip it out of my ear. But it was, but I firmed it, and then from there she kept trying to remind me that that black is beautiful. She kept saying be natural, be confident in your own skin, be thing. And when my mum kept telling me, it got to my head. I used to go around school saying I'm a painting. No one can tell me otherwise. It got so bad that I would walk around. If somebody was on Snap, I'd be like, yeah, shout me, feature me. That was me in school. I was like, yeah, bust me. And then from there, I don't know. I think I spoke to someone. They were like, "You're confident. You're confident in front of camera. You're confident in thing. Take up modeling." And I never knew about modeling because the only modeling I knew growing up, because was that catwalk thing. I was like, "No, I'm not doing that." That's the only thing I knew. That's the only thing. When people said to me modeling, I thought, "What catwalk?" I said, "You're having a laugh. Man's not doing that."
Would you do it now though?
Nah, impossible. I don't know. Just something about catwalk that I don't like. I don't know. I just.
Back to your question.
Would I do what?
Go.
no, but I feel like he hasn't landed yet.
So yeah, in terms of modeling, I always threw it off, and I was just like, you know what, yeah. But then as I started my fitness journey, and then I started realizing that my body's changing. And you used to get all these compliments back in growing up, and they were like, "Right, you're big, you know." And I was like, "I'm not that big. I was like, I'm quite skinny." And they were like, "Nah, but compared to everybody else, you're lean, you're thing." And I was just thinking, and I never knew, and there was no support. There was no one that told me to do this. I kind of researched off my own back. I remember there was one summer, everybody was going out trying to move to girls, and I just said, "No, this summer I'm going to be in the gym." And guys would shout me, and if they didn't have to message me or send me a BBM message, they'll just come to the gym, and I was there. So if they wanted to chat to me after or whatever, I would always be at the gym. And it was from there, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take up the courage. I'm just going to start modeling. And then I started up, built a little portfolio for myself, done a couple shoots with a few brands, and then that's where it kind of kicked off. Back to your question. Well, initially, when I first started, I think till now I'm still a nobody, if I'm being honest.
There for somebody.
Nah.
You're still somebody for someone.
No, yeah.
Do you get where I'm
Big
coming from?
Somebody
That
for
is
someone.
yeah.
No, I'm
Still
definitely a
big deal,
somebody
man.
for the right person, and she knows who she is. So I don't think we need to go into that one too tough. But in terms of how it started initially, it was hard. It was very very weird. Like to the point where I had to kind of like make my Instagram in a way where if I didn't know you, I think you had to send me a message request
Mm-hmm.
for me to kind of thing. And till today, I flag all of them because some of them are weird. Like, and then, but in terms of like the female attention, I think the female attention didn't really kick off from the modeling. I think I've had that from school, in terms of just constantly being loud, and I was cheeky with it. If you know where I'm coming from, but I do understand where you're coming from in terms of like some of the pictures that I would post. It was like I don't know, because sometimes it's like I would go on my Instagram because there's something you can say that views your insights, and then it'll tell you how many people have saved it or how many people that have sent
Yeah,
it.
yeah, like redirected it and saved it.
And then I'll see some crazy numbers. I'll see some crazy numbers, and
Some girls would be redirecting it.
and
to other
yeah, like
girls
I'm
and
seeing like 50
saving
people
it.
redirect them and said, where the hell is that going? So some of them I know, some of them are supporting and they're
Yeah,
putting
yeah.
it on their stories, but then it's the thing that frazzled me though, just like it was the saved. I'm thinking I'm seeing 90 saved and thinking, what you lot doing with this? Because I saved some photos. Do you know where I'm coming from?
That's
I
actually
saved,
mad.
I
That's
saved some
crazy.
photos of other guys, not like on thing of sometimes what they wear. I save it because I think, I like that outfit. I'm gonna get some inspo from it, and that's why I save it.
Yeah,
So in my head, I'm trying to think about a process like in the most positive way that I can. It's like, why are you saving that kind of thing? But it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
at the end of the day, I have no control of that. If you know where I'm coming from, so
Yeah, that's
in
mad.
terms of like the female thing, I don't think there was much female attention that than was other than the ordinary. But yeah, it was just it is what it is. I think I answered that question superbly.
Nah, that's good. That's good.
Oh, even I'm sweating.
So, do you want to ask the question to Lefan?
Yeah, what, don't just put me on fire. I'll slap him in the knee as well.
No, I've got a different question for Nathaniel.
Love it.
Yeah, I've got a different one.
Mm.
Now, do you know what I was gonna say? Obviously, I feel like you juggle a lot of different things. You do loads of different things, and I guess kind of like two questions. What have you taken away from doing a bunch of different things at once, and maybe what are the challenges around doing a lot of things at the same time?
So,
And-
what do you
and-
do?
and I guess this
No,
is-
but before
yeah.
before you explain, tell the audience or say to us what you actually do. You do coaching, you do computer science. What else do you do?
So
Introduce us, like what's your main target is, what you're trying to do with what you're doing now.
So I don't really have a kind of main goal where I want to achieve this. I just kind of like, if I can like grab knowledge from different like areas and different fields that I study, then
Mhm.
I feel like it can give me it gives me the right information to make a detailed decision for my future. So I currently study computer science. I'm also a boxing coach, and I do one-to-one sessions with various different boxers, and I take on many different projects, like computing projects. I'm currently like doing like 5 different web development projects, either e-commerce or just simple pages for small organizations, small businesses. So in terms of how I juggle it and how I do it, I don't really know. People always ask me like, "Oh, you're doing too much, man," or "How do you do all of it?" I'm like, like I don't actually see it like that.
Do you feel like you're doing too much?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel like, I need to really cut it. I need to like chill a little bit and just like take some time for myself. But then it's like, if I always believe that if I work hard now, like I can retire when I'm like 30, 35. And like, it depends on who you speak to, because I think that there's certain people that wouldn't even want you to retire when you're 35. Some people would be fine like seeing you retire when you're 60, 70 and just like grafting it out, waiting for your pension. And me, I pray. I know it's impossible. I'm not waiting for my pension. I won't let it get to that. I refuse. So that's why I believe that putting in the work now is important. And like, whether it be I work 22 hours in the day and I get 2 hours sleep.
Wow, ridiculous. You need at least.
But that's the question is, do you enjoy the process or do you enjoy the outcome?
I enjoy both.
Yeah, you have to enjoy both.
I don't always appreciate the outcome. Like when I've achieved something, people always like to me, I appreciate what you've done, man. You've done well. But I don't really see it as like, yeah, I've done well in this field. I feel like Nah, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. And people might say, all right, until I get that milli. I don't really think of it like that. I think like I want to be wealthy rather than just being rich at the end of the day. I think that if I accumulate like 2-3 million, like that can be gone in 2 seconds. Like I can buy a house with it, buy a car, then I need to maintain the house and the car, and I want to start a family. Then I have to feed my kids and my wife, and it's really hard to like people like, oh yeah, I want to make it to a mil, make it to 2-3 mil.
That's the thing. I don't think millions is a lot of money.
Yeah,
man.
millions
I,
is
I
like,
think,
yeah,
I think it's
million.
nothing. Like I think a lot of people aspire to make $1 million, but it's not much.
I think with just I think for me it's about opening your eyes in a way and different stuff.
it's
So
like a different kind of like
so you get
milestone.
Yeah, you get these little memes where it says if you hang around with rich people, you think the conversation is different, and I can testify to that. Like I've been around some guys where their family
Yeah, I know. I
And-
know about that. As
and
well.
yeah, like they're sitting on different type of wealth.
Big up my guy. You know, I'm not gonna say no name.
And yeah, they are on some different type of wealth, and whenever I'm around them, the conversation is different. It's not the conversation
What do you learn from like those people that you hang around and like the people that you didn't say name, like the people that you hang around with them? What's a different value you get from them?
I think is they value the term hard work to a different extent.
Interesting.
So when I say they value it, doesn't mean they necessarily do it. So that's something for you to think about. They may
I don't want
value.
to think about. I want you to explain.
Yeah.
Think
So
about.
pe-
Like, might as well just
So-
explain.
You can value something to a very very high extent, but you may not always have to do something for that. Maybe because of your circumstances or things. So when I say they value the term and the ideology of hard work, in terms of they understand that you have to work hard for X, Y, and Z or work hard for something. In terms of them actually doing it is not necessarily the case. So just put into perspective. I'm a multi-millionaire. Now I have a friend of mine that wants to set something up. Now I have not become a multi-millionaire by night. I've had to graft for X amount of years. Do you know where I'm coming from? To become
yeah.
where I am today.
Yeah.
However, my friend who now wants to step into that world, he's having conversations with me and understands that he's going to have to work hard, but subconsciously, he's not going to have to work as hard as I am. Reasons being because of that is because I may not have to directly help him, but in people that I can put him in contact with, he's one step further than somebody else starting from the bottom. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of they understand the idea of hard work, because I may put him in contact with someone, it still may flop. I can put him in contact with someone else, it still may flop. He's still having to work hard, but he's not having to work as hard as somebody else. He's now decided, okay, I'm going to work smarter. So he can now turn around and come back to me, says, read over my thing or my business plan and tell me why you think I'm getting refused. That's the first smart choice he's made, because I'm going to read that as a friend. Not going to say anything, not going to think, because I want him to win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm then going to say to him, you know what, this is why I think you should do this X, Y, Z. He then says, who do you think I should contact? I'm then going to say, I think you should contact this person, that person. He's broken so many chains and gone through so many loops where it's like, he didn't have to go on this, he didn't have to do this, he's just gone boom, 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 boom. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Where someone that's starting from kind of scratches, you have to do all of that by yourself.
Yeah, you have to
And
make go out there
you
and
may
make
not
the
be
content.
in that position
Mm-hmm.
to meet those people. You may not have that opportunity to meet those people. Now, I think being around those people has taught me, like, as much as is in life is what you know, it's also who you know.
It's mainly who you know. It's not about what you know.
No,
Like,
sometimes
it's
sometimes it's about what you know, because it depends on how much you value your profession. Because there's loads of other. I'm going to take you as an example, Nathaniel. There's loads of other boxing coaches. There's loads of other PTs. But why does he work with certain athletes that are in the graft and some don't? It's because of the value of what he does.
Yeah, the value that he
you know where I'm
provides to
coming
the,
The
to the
value that
client.
he provides the thing. So, but for him to provide that value, he must have had to understand and do some research on, and that is what he knows.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what has worked. He knows what works and what doesn't work. Do you know where I'm coming from? He's been to fights. Because there's so many other PTs and other people there. Let's just take boxing as a sport. That you go to them and they'll hit pads and but none of them have ever been to an amateur fight. None of them knows what it takes to become a boxer. Do you know where I'm coming from?
But you know what? This is my theory. I feel like people with experience are the best people to nourish other people.
And,
So
that's-
to recognize.
and that's exactly
Because-
what I'm saying.
yeah,
and it
yeah.
goes back to my point, because, like I said, I am into the perspective that I said with that person, I'm a multi-millionaire. Now, I've had that experience of all the failures, of all the things, So I'm not necessarily going to give my friend that token, but based off my experience, like he said, asked, what do I need to do to think he will then cut shorter steps. Do you know where I'm coming from? And that is what it is. But he also needs to know what it is that he wants to do and where he's gonna get there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
it's
rather
a,
than like
it's a bit of a weird one.
rather than just giving him a grant to like pursue his project, like you're giving him steps that will set him up for life and it will change his mentality. Like reading a lot has made me understand that some people
Read? Why are you capping? You don't read. Why are you capping? I've been telling you to read. You don't read.
listen, I've been reading, but
What book?
as I was saying,
What book?
Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert
Everyone's read that, bro.
Kiyosaki.
Everyone's read that, bro.
I think that's his name.
Everyone's read that.
Cool. But as I was saying, in his book, it says a lot of people feel as if like once you come out of education, you should just find a job and get rich and save your money, get mortgage and everything. But your house becomes a liability. But like that's pushing the conversation onto a tangent. The main point of this answer was to understand that a lot of people are not financially literate and they don't understand how money works. And the fact that they don't understand how money works means that they will work for 12 paychecks a year, like literally 12 months in a year, they're getting paid once a month. And at the end of it, they're like, oh, I've got bills to pay. Oh, I need to pay for my car insurance. I need to pay for this. I need to pay for that. And it's like,
I need
oh,
to buy this and buy that.
so I mean, and oh, I want to pay raise.
Because people in, I would say, I don't want to use this term, people in a low class, that they always think about what they want. They forget about what they need is.
No,
'Cause
but
they
bro,
think-
you know,
they-
people are stuck, bro.
Yeah,
Just people
people
are
are
stuck. Because the thing is, yeah, it's like what I agree with you. I think
Mm.
people that they keep working for like 12 paychecks, and then at the end of it, it's like, where did you get to in life? Like,
Absolutely, they're stuck, and it's
I think
the media like kind of like advertises, oh, you should get this, you should be this by this age, and then automatically they fall into a trap.
but the companies that end up taking all that money, the 12 paychecks, are the companies that are doing extremely well, and they're the ones that are super rich and they're getting all this
think-
money from.
sometimes I think if we're talking about just like I think it's passed down from generation to generation though, because in terms of when you say people are stuck, it's like you ask yourself why are they stuck. So for me, I think if I'm going to talk about like the African community, especially like a lot of people watching this will understand where if you're like a black African child, it's like growing up you're told school, secondary school, uni, then work, and that's it.
That's what society teaches us too.
No, but then and that's what I'm saying. So society may
society.
teach you that, but in different communities and
It's
in
much
different
heavier,
households,
it's much
it's
heavier.
much amplified. It's amplified a lot more.
Uh-huh.
So if I'm gonna talk about myself, like when I said to my dad, I'm not going to uni, he bugged out. Like he bugged out, and to the fact that I turned down Oxford, he went mad. And I know till today he has not forgiven me for that. But you gotta understand is, I kind of broke out of that cycle, and I think a big part of that plays was because I was always the rebellious child, always happened. But in that rebellion, I'm able to see things in a different light that my parents
Different
can't.
perspective, of
Where
course.
I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So the way my parents have gone through, the struggles my parents faced to grow up and to think, it may have been different to what it is now. But I feel like as parents and as things, like there is a failure and there's a conversation that is not happening about how times are now and how things are different now. So,
So
a lot
let's
of,
say-
a lot of young people and a lot of people like myself and other Africans are falling into a trap where we're still being pressured by our parents to go and do X, Y, and Z when really and truly we want to do X, Y, and Z. Do you know where I'm coming from? And I think there's so many other options. I'm not saying uni isn't I'm not telling them not to go to uni. I'm saying if uni is for you, go to uni. Do you know where I'm coming from? But uni just wasn't for me. Because for me, if I'm thinking at the end of the day, I want to own my own company. I want to own my own business. I'm not going to go uni and pay for somebody to teach me that. Because what you're teaching me, I'm not doing. Because I'm going to go there, I'm still going to come out and have to do everything to
And you're
start
gonna
that
be on
business.
debt as
You're
well.
gonna
You're
go
gonna
to
be-
uni.
yeah,
You're gonna go to
paid.
uni to learn how to use Google.
It's like,
Man said, that's what you said.
Be taught in uni by somebody who's never owned their own company, probably never even seek for a job.
most probably, do you know where I'm coming from? It's like, you can't, like, it's like always feeding someone. One day person's going to turn around to you and say, teach me how to fish. But if you don't know how to fish yourself, you're setting that person up for failure.
Well, I just say go on Google, innit?
Do you know where I'm coming from?
Google.com.
Google how to
What a
fish.
lesson.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So coming out from that like stereotype, which you can say that stereotype, coming out from what kind of challenges that you face
Well, is
within the family? Because
I've got a question for you as well. Is that a stereotype or is that a culture thing?
it's a
Yeah.
culture / stereotype.
I think there's a reason why it's a stereotype, culture / stereotype. Because there is some I would say there is some Africans that or some African parents that don't kind of force their children to go uni thing, but I feel like they're a bit more up to date with the times. They've accepted that things are different, and they've kind of taken that own initiative, that thing. But again, it is very much a cultural thing where it's like every I think like there's not one African child like that is around my age or my generation or the final generation that has not had that pressure or that talk about uni.
So
That
what?
talk about this.
That conversation.
So what if you can say to your parents right now, like not your parents, like the future kids that you're gonna have, what would you tell the parents? Like, how would they teach your children? Like, what kind of perspective they should learn, and how, like, you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I think I would say to them, because let the child do what he wants. Let the child do what he wants. Because
Trust me.
the way I see it is, the more you keep telling me not to do something, this is just me speaking by myself, I will do it. The reason why I'll do it is because when you tell me not to do something, if you tell me not to do something and you don't tell me why, then you're asking for trouble, because that's how my mind works. Now, and this is a very, very big thing in the African community. Your parents will say you cannot do this. They won't give you a reason why. They'll tell you because I'm your parent, because I'm your father, I'm your mother. That's what they'll tell you. Do you know where I'm coming from? It's point
I
blank
shouldn't
simple.
laugh, but yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah,
like,
it's true. Yeah.
It's funny. There's got to be some humor.
Yeah.
Like your parents will be like to you, I'm your father. That's why you can't do it.
But
You're
that's not even a legit reason.
But-
That's
but
just
then-
like
but
I'm
that's-
your
but
father.
you get where I'm coming
What
from,
does that even mean?
But that is the reason they will tell you X, Y, and Z. That's the reason they'll tell you white is white when it's black, or black is black when it's white. And that's the reason. So when you're telling someone that, you're thinking, raw,
It's like you can't win the argument.
is that you can't, but then eventually you think, nah, I'm going to try this out for myself. Do you know where I'm coming from? And it's like, that's what happens. And so let the child do what he wants to do. Give them advice. I'm not saying don't give them advice. Give them advice as a parent based on what you have gone through. Doesn't mean that is what they're going to go through. Give them advice as a thing, because when you then tell them they can't do that thing, what you're subconsciously doing is taking that choice away from that child. And what I've always said, whether it's my coaching thing, whether I'm mentoring somebody, I will always give you advice. No matter what I do, I will always leave you with that choice. Because me, I don't like anybody to come and turn around and say, "You're the reason why I did it." I will bug out.
Yeah.
Because like the parents kind of suffocate the
Because
kids a little
do you know where I'm
bit.
coming from?
Yeah.
When you give them and you leave them with that choice, like, you got to realize, they'll realize at the times, like, I was told this, I was told that, because I didn't listen to this. This is my consequence. Now I have to deal with it, and that's the best way. But when you take away that choice, that's why a lot of kids right now and a lot of other, they're not accountable for what they do, nor with themselves or anything. They're not accountable for it, because it's like they can't be accountable when somebody else has always given them this, or somebody else has always said they should do. You're taking that choice away from them. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Remember the thing is, the parents keep complaining about this generation, this generation, that. Like you guys are the ones that raised the generation. So what are you complaining about? You know?
What about you? Like, you're going to university. You're going to, is it your parents' choice or is it your choice? You say, I need to go to the university to do da.
So my parents didn't tell me I have to go to university. When they found out that I got accepted to university, and I had the chance to go to Queen Mary's and Brunel, and I had the chance to, but I didn't decide to because it wasn't really close to home. I wanted to stay close to home so that I can like build myself here rather than put myself in a different type of environment. Now I'm currently studying very close to home. I'm happy, and some people may say, "Oh yeah, university is this. You get into debt," and I agree. Yeah, you will end up with a debt at the end. But within my profession, like computer science, like I just want to learn as much as I can, so that if I need to branch out into like a different sector of computer science, I can do so. Like I'm currently doing web development, and I really enjoy it, and I've dabbled into different fields, and now that I've said, you know what, this is my final choice. Now I can start like building my skills around that sector, so that when I do decide to, all right, I need to set up my business now. I need to set up my consultancy company. I then have the skills to teach people, and they'll be able to pay me. I'll be able to, like, I can do a lot with just that information, and then that just goes into what you know rather than who you know. But like networking with different types of people, like they've also given me advice into, all right, yeah, university, not everyone needs to go to university. I've heard of people going to university for like 3-4 weeks, and then they start trading, and now they're in Dubai. Some of them are like own Lamborghinis and like 20 grand a week, and it's good for them. But that just means that they have a strong mentality rather than just being educationally intelligent. I think that I don't want to just be that person that, all right, you know what, I'm gonna set up this business. And I'm gonna start here. I want to also be educationally intelligent and then use those skills to, like, when I do have my own company, that I'll be able to utilize. I think it's important for me.
Wait, can I ask you something? You just said something about. So what deems your education intelligent? A degree?
Not necessarily my degree, but what I learn amongst my peers within university. Like, I don't really value the degree I get from university.
But this was gonna say, I don't think someone performing well academically means
Yeah,
that they're
education
intelligent.
intelligent.
Yeah, I don't think it defines person's intelligence. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I think
Yeah.
we're saying the same thing, but in a different kind of way. But yeah.
yeah. Being in terms of educationally intelligent, like, a lot of what I know now is from YouTube, but then, like,
Back to the same thing. Back to
Listen,
the Google.com.
Since 2005, I've enrolled to University of Google and University of YouTube. That's my favorite
Can I
university.
tell you my experience?
And I'm still there,
yeah,
and
no,
I'm gonna stay
absolutely.
there. That's the
I
best
believe
thing.
that, you know what?
Can I tell
YouTube-
you my experience on my university?
Nah, bruv. Nah, I'm joking, of course.
No, but
So-
I believe that, yeah, YouTube and Google.
Right.
like,
So
they
the
taught me
way
a
I
lot, yeah.
passed, the way I did my dissertation.
Yeah.
So I basically watch YouTube clips, type whatever the guy said, and I'll pass. I got B+ for my dissertation. Not whatever he said, but obviously I have to learn certain skills to right. But those skills I can learn that by myself. And I asked myself, why did I pay $9,000 on the plus $9,000 to get that degree? But I'm not even using it right now.
But you know, you can go to uni twice. Well, to be honest, you can do it 3 times, but I don't think you want to do it at that age. But you can go to uni at least 2 times for free during your lifetime. Obviously, you get the whole debt. It's not free because you get in debt, but obviously you get swiped after 20 years. So you can go there at one point, then 20 years later, it's wiped. You can go to uni again, and then.
This guy, bro.
I mean, if you go to uni at 18, then obviously by the time you're, 38, swiped, you go to uni again. By the time you're like,
At 60.
58, you're
yeah.
60, you can go to uni for the 3rd time. That's wonderful. Your lifetime, you've got 3
think-
degrees. It's like, what you got? I've got 3 degrees.
Yeah, like I think nothing should stop you. Like I think all like, especially for us, as like I don't know about you though, but especially for me, like I feel like there's so much pressure in terms of when things should be done, and I feel like you got to stop falling into that. Like I always have conversations with people, and it's like I'm never gonna say who he is here, but I'll leave that. I remember like someone I know was like, I want to have a kid in 2 years, and I was just like, yeah, do your thing. You know, I'm coming from that. Do your thing, but like, I laughed, but I was like, no, but do your thing. And for me, it's just like, why do you want to do that? And it's like, do it now, because in my age, in my head, is like, I don't want that. Do you know where I'm coming from? Not because I feel like I shouldn't or think. If life happens and then boom, bam, man does my thing. You get me? Then boom. But I'll never run away from a responsibility. You know where I'm coming from? However, if you're kind of planning stuff, like I've always said to people, plans don't always go accordingly. But having a goal helps. So if you have a goal and it's like, cool, your plan, that first plan doesn't go accordingly, it will adapt. Do you know where I'm coming from? So when people are saying to me that they want to have this and this by 25, I'm thinking 25 is young, because like, and I look at it as like, I'm maybe different, because for me, from a young age, I was very like stubborn. So when it came to me saying this is what I want to do, I knew what I wanted to do. There was no change in it. You know where I'm coming from? The one thing I would say is I never saw myself coming into the sports world or sports the way I am into it now. I've always thought I was always going to be either the athlete or the team person or the team player. I never thought myself to be the person that's on the back pushing other people forward. Do you know where I'm coming from? Never.
Talent.
Yeah. So when people are saying that, I feel like you shouldn't fall into that trap of you should get everything done at a certain time, because that's social media trying to kill you. Because
Everyone has a different time zone.
You-
That's
you
what
got- you got-
everyone needs to know.
you gotta
Like,
understand that, but it's very hard to kind of see that when like you got things like Instagram and you got things like as much as I love it, Love Island. No, but bring my thing.
I swear you signed up for it.
Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. Don't
So
be
this
You
dumb.
definitely signed up for Love Island.
I didn't.
I remember
sign
you
up.
even got that email. Did you not get an
I didn't
email
sign
from
up. Yeah, I got an email, but I didn't sign up, bro.
Oh, is it?
We know I didn't sign up.
Oh.
You try
you
to sign
should
me
go
up.
for it.
I'm not going for that.
You should go for it.
I
and
think
it
you
will
should
be
go
nice.
for it.
Did you sign
man.
up?
Yeah.
Model as
Yeah.
well,
Shut
bro.
up.
Bro, you should go
No,
for
I
it.
got an
man.
email for it, but I'm not going for it. I just
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
got accepted to Love Island. That's all I'm saying, man.
I didn't get accepted. I didn't get accepted. Is this
Yeah,
on
you're meant
camera?
to go
Oh, I
to
didn't get
it.
accepted.
But yeah,
Huh? It was like a casting. They were like, oh yeah, I don't know how they found me.
Yeah, I don't know how they found you either, bro.
I really don't know how they found
Bro,
me.
they're probably one of the ones that saved your photos as well.
Bro, that you were
Like,
like,
let me
some-
send it to my
But you
manager.
know what?
see
Can,
if-
can I add something?
Yeah, go on,
serious to
definitely.
what you're saying. I feel like people have this thing called like I'm gonna name it now. This is like a new thing, blinded vision. So what I mean by that, yeah, is like they have a vision of something, but they're only visualizing the good parts of it, or like they're thinking about they're matching the vision of how they think it's gonna be, but they don't think about the other things. So it's kind of like they got a vision, but it's a little bit blinded. So for example, someone might be like, yeah, by the time I'm 25, I'm gonna have a kid, but they're thinking about the best bits of having a kid, but they're not thinking about I'm gonna have to change the nappies and do
Yeah,
this
and
and
I
responsibility
think
and
like back onto like my
There's
whole-
a pros and cons in everything. Like every
course.
angle that you take, every action that you take, there's a pros and there's a con for it. So it's about how you see the action or the adventure.
So,
of
so
the
before you
work.
jump in, yeah, you know, I've always been curious, yeah. People gonna think I'm dummy. I didn't Google it, yeah. But what do pros and cons stand for?
Positive and negative.
I think
No, but what's pros like? Like what? Profitable or like cons? Is it like cons? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, now go on.
yeah,
Kenny,
like
Kenny, back to
whilst
your
he's
point.
doing that, like back to the Love Island point, it's like I'm using Love Island example as like a quick fix. The reason why I say it's a quick fix is because it's like so many people. It's like once you go on Love Island now, whether you make it to the semi-finals or not, Charlie, once you come out, you're not the same person. Do you know where I'm coming from?
You'll never be.
But it's
the
wonderful.
same.
Look at how much like how much
However-
they build their careers and stuff.
Yeah, it does build their career and it does feel like that. But then what you understand is subconsciously there are a lot of other young people younger than us and younger thing that are looking at that thinking
Yeah.
that's their goal. They're thinking, boom, I'm gonna slap on a TikTok. I'm gonna slap on a thing, which is I'm not saying they shouldn't do that. They should have more to that because life isn't just Love Island. Life
Yeah.
isn't just TikTok. Life isn't just social media. There is social media and then there is real life.
Do you know what? Can I
Where I'm
say
coming
this?
from.
Yeah, I think young people are attracted by things that look good but are not necessarily good. Does that make sense? So like, you know, like some young, I feel like young people might watch Love Island. They're like, oh, this looks good. This looks amazing.
They're not
like,
having this.
bare
Even seen
people
a
are linking
first
up.
episode, you know.
You haven't seen Love Island? You're missing
No.
out. I can't lie. I watch it. I'm
haven't
addicted.
seen
No, no, no.
I
Listen,
I'm addicted. I'll be real.
Like, I've been
Listen,
traveling. Like I'm not like
pissed.
not
I'm
in.
pissed because this year's Love Island did not happen, and that's supposed to be in America. I think
Nah,
that's
this year was gonna be this year. I felt like this year would be dead though. I felt like this year would have been dead. I feel like the
Cardi B would have been hosting it though. I can't lie.
Imagine
Like, shout out Cardi
hosting
B,
that.
and that, you know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
but I think the 2 years of Love Island that was lit. Yeah, the litty.
I feel like I'm blind now.
Was
Like,
the year with Ovi and Oliver Jack.
which one is that? Which one?
Yeah,
I
think it was the
see
year before
Michael.
last.
Michael was moving mad. And are you talking about the last one?
I can't lie. I really didn't watch that last one like that. Still.
yeah,
Yeah,
didn't.
I didn't watch that last.
last
It was
one.
the the 2 years before that. Oh, see them years?
It was interesting. It was interesting.
Wonderful.
I think that the team.
So your question on quick on the pro and cons thing is a Latin phrase.
Wait, 1 second. 1 second.
Yeah, so the question on the pros and cons thing is a Latin phrase for pro et contra. Basically means following. It's not actual word. It's not short for anything. But the Latin phrase is pro et contra.
Oh, that's lit. So it's a Latin thing. So it's like CV. It's like what CV is like.
Curriculum
what
vitae.
CV stands for?
Yeah,
Like,
curriculum vitae.
Vitae.
Yeah, so
The only
it's
thing I know
like,
that
oh
says
yeah,
it
you know
is-
what it stands for? Actually, I've just learned that the other day. It's someone's. I think it stands for life journey.
What CV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that from Latin it translates to life journey or someone's journey. It's actually lit.
Yeah.
It's actually lit. Made me look at CVs differently now. But yeah, go on, Yusuf.
I haven't seen a Love Island at all. Like I've seen one episode. I was like, nah. When if Love Island came out, I was studying for my piloting.
Oh, so then.
So I was like, yeah, I'm not involved. Like I just need to
Alright.
get this.
You should have
And
looked at. You should have think raw. Like once I get that piloting thing, it'll be me flying these men out to wherever they're going.
So
You get me?
So I was never paid attention to that, and I was like, yep. And it got viral. And I was like, it was Love Island. Like in my time zone, it didn't click. But if I watch it, I'll probably click into it. But
Do you know what it is,
never-
yeah, I feel like so you lot are just like a degree older than. When I say,
Well, don't try writing me off like that.
I'm not trying to write you off,
don't-
bro. Bro, the airline done it before, man. But
degree.
Listen, don't try to write me
I'm
off.
not trying to
using,
write you
using
off.
like university terms as well,
not-
degree and that.
I'm
like,
not trying to write you off, but obviously there is a degree of, in terms of the age difference between used to and us two.
Of course.
Now, what I've always wanted to kind of understand, yeah, is how like slang and how certain stuff of how you lot see things to how we see things.
Bro, let me tell you something. Yeah,
Because
you're asking.
from-
You can ask Yusuf, but not me. Yeah, because I invest time in
ve-
understanding.
Cool, very much because see me, I feel like I can't. If you once you hit that 26 or 27 barrier, I'm flagging you.
Why those 2 ages now?
Why those 2 ages? Because I just don't
Well,
know.
what are you flagging in about?
Yeah, what are you flagging, bro?
What,
26, 27?
What
Yeah,
are
what
you
you
flagging,
flagging?
bro?
How old are you?
Don't worry, you know. It's not for the camera. But what are you flagging? What are you flagging? What are you flagging? Talk to me.
Hey,
Talk
he's
to us.
triggered. He's triggered.
I'm not even triggered. I'm
Hey,
I'm
he's
curious.
triggered. I'm telling you, he's
No,
triggered.
genuinely, I'm just curious. I just
No,
wanna know.
basically, like, for me, it's like, once you hit them 2 ages, yeah. Okay, no. 26, 27 is still a bit young. Let me push it a bit further. 28. Oh. Once you hit 28, yeah. 28, 29.
Ah, but
I
you know we're gonna hit 28.
That, you know, that's a prime time like of your life.
Huh?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah, that's
That-
you're
that's
in
the
your prime, bro.
time,
Your life
like,
is
of-
starting when you're 30, my guy.
when you're 25, 26, that's the time that you start. Because you do all the mistakes like you during your 18, 19, 20.
Don't know about that one still.
Till 20, 25. Yeah, till 30 you still.
I've made mistakes. I'm not saying I'm not going to keep making mistakes. Hell no, I'm going to keep making
You're-
mistakes.
you're- learning from a mistake.
Was that 20? I want to hear it. So what?
For me,
what's one
I
of
just
the
feel
20?
like I think
I
this
have a
may,
question
this
for
may
that, by
be
the way.
this may be based on my experience, yeah. But do you have older siblings? Do any of you have older
Yeah.
siblings? All right, cool. So
I got an older sister that I've never met in my life.
oh mad. So me, I've got an older sister, and I will make sure she doesn't watch this thing. But yeah, I will make sure she doesn't watch this thing. But me and I always say that me and my older sister are very, very different. Very different. Now, once we look totally different. She's a tiny thing. She's tiny. You get me? I don't know who blessed her with that short midget height, but she didn't get that from me. That's she sees it as a blessing. But I'm thankful for this thing, bruv. 6 foot something. Mwah. God all the time, bruv. Amen. Mother didn't show me in any department. I'll tell you that, bruv. That third leg pick.
We're saying doing that
Wait,
tripod.
so
don't
Back
want
to that. But what are you flagging about?
Okay, so
What
back to
you
the point. Back to the
flagging?
point, because I'm getting a bit distracted here. You man are
Yeah.
moving a bit mad on it. But so my relationship with my sister is a bit weird. Not weird, is that like we can banter and we can like work very, very close. Well, as of now, anyway. But she still don't get stuff. like
What she don't get stuff.
like
what kind
when
of
I'm
stuff?
talking about like certain stuff that like life experiences or something. So okay, so me, I have this thing where it's like back in the thing when I used to do this. Like, I think till today I still do it sometimes. If my boys or my brethren get into a passer, I feel like compelled to help. I feel compelled to think. Now my sister will turn around and say, "You don't always have to be a hero." I'm not trying to be a hero because I can't be a hero. Do you know where I'm coming from? And so for me, it's like when I try to sit down and have a conversation with her, I'm trying to think what happened in the 4 years of you and me that you see things completely different. Because when I ask my cousins as well, they go through the same thing, but their gap difference is not as much. So the ones that are in secondary school, their older sister's just a year younger than me, and that's like 5, 6. You know where I'm coming from? So I'm thinking, what's happened in those? Because I'm thinking we're both aware of the same things. We both see what's going on in our society. You want to think, what's happening that you somehow? Do you get where I'm coming from?
Do
you wanna say it?
The question
Shall
is,
I-
did she go to uni? And also that second question is like, is she hanging around different types of people than you do? Because
That's huh?
Like, I got a question. Like, do you think it revolves around gender?
I don't think it revolves around gender though, because I've got other females that are like my sisters that are gully. Do you know where I'm coming from? Like,
You know what changes people, right? From my experience, is what they go through in their life, and this is what they see. Like, you know, you get what I'm saying?
Exactly. So you got. That's
Because
what I said. That's what I'm making it very personal, relating it to.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
No, this
you
is why.
understand, She's kind of been through
And I
similar-
feel like she has witnessed and been through similar things that I have been through.
But also she see things differently because she has experience.
And again, you're not listening.
Yeah.
I understand she sees it differently. What I don't understand is why she doesn't see it the way I see it. Do you get where I'm coming from? That's why I say once certain people, I feel like when people hit a certain age, like 20 thing, they no longer see things when it is a bit, because
But you know
when
what it is?
because for them when they were at that age, it wasn't the same. Because when my sister was 19, like it may not have been the same when I was 19. Do you know where I'm coming from?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
I know exactly
feel
what you're talking
I feel
about.
like
I'll
now that
explain
she's-
it in a
I feel
sec.
like now that she's thing, she refuses to see when I kind of tell her like, yo, that's not what it is, fam. Like you're telling me,
There's a
do you
quote
know what it
there's a
is?
quote that I saw in, I think, Rwanda. What was it called? A tree can be fixed when they're young, not when they get older. When they get old, do you get where I'm coming from? Like if you're trying to build a tree, any shape that you want, you put the stick around it and make it shape. But when you hit a certain age, you become a fixed person. you don't change anymore. So that's during 24 and 25.
I kind of
That's-
disagree. I think I've changed quite a bit, and I keep changing all the time. But this is where I'm gonna come to. I feel like the reason this thing's a bit funny, but yeah, I feel like the reason that's happening is because I feel like she's not the same person that she used to be. So let me explain that. Yeah, so her perspective, and I can relate to that. So her perspective has changed so much. Yeah, where like it's really hard for her to go back to that age of when she was a certain age and understood certain things or experienced certain things, because she might have let go of that part. You know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like it's similar with me. It's like I can kind of remember roughly how it used to be, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not that person anywhere near that same person, and I've completely changed my perspective. It's very different.
You don't
So
change.
it's
You
hard
just
for me
grow
to-
into the person that who you need.
Yeah, but
to
that's the
become.
thing. So I think for me, what growth looks like is like when I'm changing my perspective. So if I change my perspective, that equals growth, and you know what I'm trying to say. So it's probably the same thing, but it's just defined differently.
Yeah, I hear that, but if she does watch this thing, just I still love you, though. Don't be dumb.
I think that in terms of that quote you said, that you can fix a tree when it's young, in comparison to when it's older, it becomes more
Stiff.
more stiff.
Like let's say you're teaching a kid how to box,
Yeah.
and you're teaching 40-year-old how
Very,
to
very
box.
different.
It will take 5 years to learn the basics. To teaching a kid a year, like he learned the basic
Yeah,
within a
I
year.
think it's more about effort. Like,
No, I don't think that's true. I'm gonna disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm
I'm gonna disagree with that.
No, because your
Reason
mind
why-
is take
Nope,
time
nope,
to learn.
nope.
Let's say.
I think it depends on the person. I think it's
let me-
entirely down
It
to the
depends
person.
on that individual.
Let me give you an example on this.
Nope.
If when you're young
Mm-hmm.
and you get taught the first language was English. If you get taught different language when you're such a young age, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you get older, the same language that you get taught, and then you try to teach a kid another language, not the kid, the older guy another language, it's harder for him to learn.
Nope, it's not.
Right? How do you?
Don't worry about that.
You know, when you get to nearly like 30s, you'll feel the experience.
No.
You'll
You
feel
make-
the
no,
experience.
the
Let
reason
me
why-
tell you that.
The reason why I say nope, and I'll continuously always disagree with that is because there's two ways. It depends on the person because
100%.
You can
because-
constantly learn
yeah,
it.
100%
no,
agree.
it depends on the person. It's maybe you may have more challenges. That does not mean because I'm 30 and this somebody's 19 that it must take me 5 years to think. Because the way I
Not
because
5
I'm
years.
gonna, I'm
I mean,
gonna give
I
one
mean,
name. I'm gonna give one name just to prove that. Yeah, Idris Elba. That's it. That's all I gotta say. That's it.
That's that.
That's
You-
it.
You got that, but then I also disagree with like
He's dyslexic. So he's learned. He sees
I-
different.
I
he
also-
sees
But
But why are you
about
trying to
different-
diss him for?
No, I'm
bro?
not trying to. I'm dyslexic
you know what?
too. I'm
last time,
dyslexic too.
last time he said Stormy. Yeah, he said Stormy pull up my house. Yeah, not even yeah. So now Idris pull up my man's house, and I'm gonna DM you the address. Though you get me?
no, but I feel like in terms of why it's not the same is because again, it's like how you may understand something. Because I feel like the child has youth on his side, but the person that is older thing has that will determination on it. And one more thing, that the way of skill acquisition,
If
Wait,
the-
I say that one more time, man. Say that. I like that
say
one.
it. yeah.
skill acquisition.
Cheers.
So
Nice.
if
Big
you
words.
if you understand skill acquisition and how to acquire skill very well, it will not take you that much time. You will cut so much more time. And the reason why I say he has that on his side is because he's been able to make those mistakes to understand what skill acquisition is before I'm coming from. I'm going to use my man there as an example, or anybody. You mentioned a language here, and if you it's called The 10 Things to Learn a Skill Fast. It's a book, really good. Forgot the author though, but it tells you that you mentioned language. You can go to a thing. How many times have we gone to school or thing like? And I remember being in school, and they'll teach my French, they'll teach my Spanish. We were learning nouns, we were learning pronouns, we were learning verbs, numbers, Slap me in front of a French, I'll say oui, oui. That's all I know.
Because you,
That's
'cause
all I
you
know.
didn't have a will to learn the language.
No. I had a will. I wanted to learn French. I really wanted to learn
How
French.
come you
Now-
forgotten about the language?
Because of the way I was acquiring that skill. Because you can't tell somebody to learn French. It's weird because I was learning French. That's how I was learning French. But when I started understanding Portuguese a bit more, I didn't do none of that. I started going to Portuguese people and I said, "Hey, what? Fetch that bottle." I was chatting shit until they started correcting me. Until they used to think that is how the skill acquisition was there. Because how I decided to learn that was more front hand.
Yeah, but you applied part of the learning in the process.
You apply, come from. That's why I say I don't believe in that, because whether somebody is older or thing, if they have that will to learn and understand the
No,
right
this is
way
why I'm
to
saying
acquire
it.
that skill, it's not the same. No matter how stiff you want to call them, no matter how thing, it is not. Because you can be 55. Actually, there's people out there.
I
there'll be-
agree
there'll be
with
a
your perspective.
55-year-old.
I agree with your
I'm seeing
perspective.
55-year-olds that are deadlifting, squatting more than man. I'm thinking, you man are mad. because I'm looking at it as like, and it triggers me like, what is different to? I'm younger. I should be able to bang in those weights, but you can squat and deadlift more than me. Why?
Mindset.
It's a
process,
mindset. It's a
there's
Exactly.
will. It's a will. It's
Exactly.
actually the person knows
It's-
why he's doing it. Because when you know your why, you're doing it, or the mindset, you will do better. Do you get where I'm coming from? And you'll enjoy it more. When you enjoy the process,
But then you can flip that on a kid as well, because if you slap me in any janky sport, if I didn't want to do, if I didn't know why I was enjoying it, or why if I was here because my dad told me to be, I'm definitely gonna waste your time, and you will get angry. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I get
So
where
it can
you're
work both ways.
So, just kind of aiming towards like we need to start wrapping up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
I have one question for before we end up. How we have this question. He asked the future, asked the past.
Oh no, I've got a different question for this one, but you do your thing, then I'll do my thing. Yeah. Oh.
Tell me your thing first. Go on.
Well, I need to tell you my thing first.
No, to ask your thing first.
Cool. So I've got a question for each one of you. Yeah.
Sounds
Actually,
like janky.
No. Do you know what? It's I guess it's two different. You know what? Two different questions to each one of you guys, and I'm gonna drop it at the same time. For anyone that's interested in getting into boxing, like, what's your word of advice? And any other like young person struggling with certain things in life, like, what's your word of advice? I guess it's for two different things, but like, what is your advice
To
for
the younger you.
You know, whoever wants to like get into boxing, or whoever's struggling in life and going through like I guess that tough phase and they're kind of like losing hope, sort of thing. So, to each
Biz, I'll let you do the honors and go first.
Shotgun, I'll go first.
I'm not going first.
But shut
Go
up.
for
I
it.
called it, bro. Cool shotgun.
I'm not doing it. I don't care.
Bro,
I'm not doing it.
bro, I
I'm not doing
called
it. I'll be stubborn. I told you, man, I'm not doing it.
Ah, cool.
Come on, guys. This
You owe me a shotgun.
Say nothing.
But advice. Can you repeat the question again?
So yeah, so it's advice. It's advice for two different generations of not generations, two different types of young people. So for young people who are interested in boxing or you want to get into boxing, like, what's your word of advice for them? Like, how should they engage with boxing? And second separate one is, what's your advice to any young person that's struggling at the moment and going through certain phase in life?
I think I'm gonna start with advice to young people that are currently struggling. Me, I'm also a young person, so my techniques, what I do in order to like stay sane within these times, is to understand that there's always going to be a future for you, because all these conspiracy theories and all that people talking about either COVID is real, it's not, and it can scare you, but you have to kind of sometimes take yourself away from it and kind of focus on like your main goal or what you want to achieve in your life, whether or not you have a main goal. Like me, I previously said I don't have a main goal, so whatever you want to achieve, even if it's small things, keep working towards it and keep focusing on it, because at the end of the day, like it will always surpass. Like, we've only lived what, like, let's say we're 20, 22. Like, so yeah,
Less than a quarter.
yeah, we've actually lived less than a quarter of our life. So by the time I know that when I'm 80, I'm gonna still be training. I know that for sure. So if I'm training now and I'm gonna be training when I'm 80, then I know that, look, I have 3 more quarters of my life to live. So I haven't even lived half of it yet. So you have to always focus on that. And like a lot of young people, like it's very scary for them sometimes. And I don't blame them at all. But you just gotta make sure you focus on all these small things that you're trying to acquire in your life. And in terms of boxing, how would you start? I'd say, well, there's like a few basic steps. Find a club first, and like that club will be able to teach you the basics, the fundamentals of boxing, like how to move, how to throw your jab and your cross, the few main punches, and then you can start testing the waters and see if you want to compete in amateur boxing world. You can decide, but yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna say.
would you?
Mad. I think I'll do the boxing one first. In regards to boxing, I think even before like coming to a club or getting to a club, because not every young person's gonna know to go to a club. Because even sometimes when young people come to our club, it's like some of them are still shy. Some of them still be like, some of them, you see some of them come with their
That's
dad.
true.
See some of them come with their parents, so like they're a bit like raw. This is a bit mad because doing
But
boxing for the
it's a bit
first
that
time
barrier.
and coming to a boxing club can be very, very intimidating. Even for the females, like I'm coming from, it's very, very intimidating. Especially when you're seeing guys laying man down, you're thinking, nah, that can't be man. Do you know where I'm coming from? You're thinking, nah, that can't be me. in terms of coming to boxing is understanding what understanding what you're about to get into. So when I was doing athletics and football, I was understanding that raw cough cough, certain people are going to be clamping my shins, but you just had to deal with that. You know where I'm coming from. Like you couldn't get away from that. But it was like just understanding what it is that you're about to get into and have that drive, have that passion for it, because you may not have it straight away, but understand that I'm going to do no matter what I can to get better. Now, invest in your sport, but don't look at it as if you're investing in that. Look at it as if like you're investing in yourself, because I always say to people and always say to a lot of the boxers, like, don't come to boxing and not have boxing boots. Don't come to boxing and not have wraps, because what that shows is you don't want to invest in yourself. It's not that you can't invest in the sport, not that you may not be able to financially, everything, but it's like be prepared to invest in yourself to make that development. Do you know where I'm coming from? Because I always refer to girls whenever I'm coaching. The thing I always refer to girls, or always refer to motives. Man, them will never lack anything when it comes to moving to a girl. You will never see it. Like if man them haven't got a phone and they want to go chat to a girl, they're definitely gonna ask for their bros. Hey, yo, let me log into Snap. I've seen it countless times.
No
You
way.
pay for it.
Countless. They're prepared and ready. If they want that girl, they'll grab it. Do you know where I'm coming from? So it's the same with yourself. It's the same with your personal development. Do you know where I'm coming from? Now, how you acquire that and how you do that, you have to make that decision. Nobody can make that decision for you. And that is where the individuality kicks in every human. Do you know where I'm coming from? Now, that's my advice for boxing, and understanding that the sport it's going to be a tough one. There's going to be barriers, and it's just like, yeah, I'm ready to fight for it. And don't be scared. Like anything in life is going to be hard. People look at me at certain sports or look at me the way I am with certain stuff. It's like, I'm 21, by the way. I know when I was earlier, I was joking. I'm 21, by the way. Like, without me saying my age, I know people are going to view this and think, right, this guy's 25, 20. No, I'm a lot younger than that. And it's because I've invested in myself, and I understand that for me to learn, I'm tumble along the way, but you have to get back up. That's what any sport is. Boxing, I think, is just a bit
Even
more
in a life, like you got
just
to
in
learn,
life, where I'm
learn
coming
yeah.
from. But I think just in like terms of more combat sports is a lot more amplified, because it's like you feel that pain a lot more. Whereas team sports like football, you feel it. It's like your struggles thing, but in the sport like boxing and MMA and stuff, those martial arts, it's a lot more amplified, because you have that daily. When you are sick, your legs shattering, shaking, your shoulders are throbbing because of how many punches you're throwing on that bag, you still have to go and do that run. Do you know where I'm coming from? That's where you have to understand that, yeah, this is going to be a tough journey, but I'm ready for it.
It mentally prepares you for life. Like you can go into the boxing ring, you can go onto the dojo, like, and do judo, boxing, MMA, wrestling, whatever it is. But you just have to mentally prepare yourself for your opponent in front of you, and you always have to understand that, look, they're just as scared as you are. So like when you're getting in there, like, look, I'm gonna perform my best, and that's the same thing with life, like, and the balance within life. You whatever you're doing in your life, make sure that, look, you do it at the best of your ability, whatever it is, because you know that, look, there's people out there, and a lot of people say, like, look, life and whatever you do in your life is not a competition, but I always believe it is. I believe that whatever you do, there's always someone out there that's trying to perform better than you. So this is why you always have to perform your best, and I think that martial arts really prepares you for that.
I have a question before
Wait,
we wrap up.
I'm going to answer the one about
Yeah.
life. Well, go on.
Yeah.
No, go on.
Like, answer it first before I ask you that. Go on.
All right, cool. And in terms of life, for those people that have me on Instagram and thing, but I've always been posting for recently, is like, a life without adversity isn't a life at all. Now, however you want to
Beautiful
take,
way you say it.
however you want to take that's up to you, and I'll explain it again. I'll say it again. A life without adversity isn't a life at all. So a life without downs, a life without challenges, a life without tumbles, a life without any problem that stops you from getting to where you want was not worth it. Because my mum always says this to me. Maybe, I don't know, it can be said in different ways. Anything good worth having never comes easy.
Of course.
So when I took that into perspective, and I was like, okay, that's how I'm gonna.
I'm getting
move.
goosebumps, by the way.
That's how I'm gonna move with my everyday life. If I know that it is worth having to me, it shouldn't come easy. Now, if that thing has come easy, that was not what I wanted.
Of course.
Do you know where I'm coming from? So whatever you want to do in life, if it's something that you know, this is me, this is my heart, this is the thing, you may not know straight away, and that is fine. But when you understand that, and when you get to that position in your life where you're like, this is me, understand that if it is worth having to you, that thing you want is not going to come easy. and understand that it's not because that's life. It's because always remind yourself anything good worth having will not come easy, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Tino's morning motivation.
I love that.
I love that.
See you
And
soon.
you guys have a minute to promote whatever you guys doing, your Instagram or your anything that you wanna, anything that you want. The camera is right there. Before I ask my last question to you guys, go for it, Nathaniel. Did I say it right?
Alright, so protein point. I need a new bowl. I need a new bowl. Absolutely. I've been using this bowl, rinsing it, but I need a new one. Protein point UK.
Yeah.
Shout out to Protein Point UK.
I can't lie, just to add on to that, I actually get my stuff from Protein Point as well.
Yeah,
I do.
sponsor me.
No. Like these guys put me on actually like decent
Yeah,
prices.
definitely.
They've got a range of products. I'm not even paid or I'm not promoting this. Like I've genuinely just been a customer there because these guys brought me there. So it's trust me, it's a shout.
Yeah, Ash, when you see, I'm gonna make sure I send you the link anyway. But yeah, just a couple guys need to get sorted out some stuff. But me, I'm not really gonna promote anything. Definitely not promote my Instagram. Definitely not.
Impossible.
Impossible.
I'm gonna put his Instagram in
What's his
description
Instagram?
so
is
you
it,
can
is
have.
it CEO.Zeno?
You definitely
Yes.
fucked up already, so calm.
It's underscore.
Back to the last question.
CEO, yeah, it's alright.
You know when someone goes, "Don't promote it," I'm gonna promote it. What's the thing called? Can you pull up?
No,
his
I'll
Instagram?
put
I
it on
beg,
the
hey, don't.
description. I'll put it
I'm
on
being
the-
serious, don't you know?
Alright.
Pull it up.
But listen,
That we on? That we on?
Yeah.
Alright, so
Say nothing.
alright.
I'm
Hey,
joking.
yo,
Any girls
you-
watching, slide into his DMs.
No, but my wife will beat you up. Quickly.
No, I'm joking.
My wife will beat you up.
So
Hey, you know who I'm talking to. I don't want to say your name, but I'm joking. That was a joke, and that so I don't, you know.
I said, oh, she's actually gonna beat me up. Forget it.
Yeah.
So my question is, what have you learned from your past, and what would you tell your past, like your younger yourself? What would you tell to him? What would you tell to your future self?
I'll go quickly.
What have you learned first?
What have I learned? Never take anything too serious.
Love that.
Love that.
Never take anything too serious.
What about you?
I don't know. Like, my past,
What have you learned from it? And then like, yeah, this is something I've learned that I took on to myself.
very similar to Kenny. I don't know. I wouldn't know actually. Like, don't always focus on what you're doing currently. Like, try and explore different things because you never know. You might not like something in the future. Like, what? I think when I was young, I wanted to be a Fed. I wanted to be a Fed. Like, I was.
No,
It's true, like-
there's a good and bad thing.
it's just
there.
the way you dropped it.
I wanted to be a-
There was a build up, yeah. There's a build up.
I did not expect that, you know.
I want to be fed.
No, those are the people.
No, that was a build. That was a build
Yeah,
up.
that-
I
that-
want to be a Fed. Like, and
It's not a bad thing to be
eventually,
a fan.
I realized that it is absolutely a bad. That's not joking. I'm joking. I want to be a Fed, and look now, like I want to be a boxing coach. Like teach people to fight and to overcome obstacles. So I think, yeah, like don't always focus too much on one thing because you never know. Like it can switch up one way, and next thing you know, like you're stuck in another situation, and the situation might not always be negative. It could be positive, but this is why you explore and you find new things to do.
What would you tell to your
Is
future self?
it because Cabs knocked out the Fed?
Wait, who knocked out a Fed?
Cabs.
I'm not involved.
Okay, cool. Anyway.
Anyway,
Talk
what
to
would
me.
you?
Talk to me about that. after.
What would you
No,
tell?
in a boxing ring. Obviously, wait, hold on. There's a disclaimer. There's a
Oh.
disclaimer in a boxing ring, not on the street. Obviously,
I forgot about that.
Damn,
Yeah.
you know something I forgot. Yeah.
I'm not involved.
That was lit.
Cut
That
me
was
from
lit.
this.
Shout out to you, Cabs. Shout out to you. Shout out to
Well,
Cabs.
yeah, it's a sick box. I can't lie.
Absolutely.
What would you tell to your future self? Let me get back to after you finish. What would you tell, like in 5-10 years down the line? Yeah, this is something that. What would you tell him? Like,
Tell him. I'll say like you're a real one, man. Like you did your thing, like
You did your
like, you did your thing because like I know I refuse to be. I just refuse to be like down there. Like I refuse. So I'm always going to aim high, aim for the moon or the stars, one of them, and land on.
What did you just say? Whoa! Hey, computer says no.
Aim for the mush.
Computer says no.
Alright,
We
cool,
are not
system error.
flagging that.
Cool.
Did you say
System-
mush? Instead of moon. Oh!
Loud. They heard it. They heard it. They heard it.
No, you're not flagging that.
But yeah, as I was saying, like,
Big up the mush in that. You get me?
Big up the moon, innit? Nah, oh my god.
system error. It's getting caught. It's getting that. Yeah.
What about you?
That's getting caught.
Bro,
Alright,
if
let's
you man
restart the
can't,
computer.
I would put
Let's
the
restart the
table.
computer.
It's because
restart
that's
the computer.
computing, yeah. Like obviously.
Yeah, we
Man said aim
like,
for
we
the
heard you.
moosh.
We heard you. We heard you.
I'm too used to computers.
Man
Let's
said
restart
aim
that.
for the moosh.
Alright, let's restart that.
Oh my god.
But as I was saying,
Nah, bro, there's no as I was saying. Man said aim for the moosh.
to my future self, I'd say like, yeah,
Oh, I'm dead.
you did well. And
Yeah,
like,
what with the moosh?
This is a moment to remember, you know.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
guys, did I actually say that? Did I say that?
You said
Did I say it wasn't me?
But I think-
It wasn't me.
But did you hear the switch up quickly? Went from the mush to stars.
Like, aim for the moon, aim for the stars, land on one of them.
Nah,
I don't know how to say
bro.
it.
I think because if he said mush, yeah, he went, yeah, stars.
Nah, I can't lie. That was
No, but
funny.
that was good, bro. You
That
made
was
it.
nice.
Restart computer, let's go.
That
Yeah,
was
let's
funny.
go, man. Now honestly, like I feel like sometimes, like just to laugh like this is very important, man. And
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely laugh with it.
yeah, definitely laugh with him, not at him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
laugh
laugh
with
with
Then,
it.
then restart it after.
Yeah,
Yeah,
laugh at the
man.
moosh.
You remember this
Listen,
moment?
if I
Maybe-
bring up maintenance, if I bring it up, no, you know what, EK, if you're watching this, yeah, just know to add a comment. Just add a comment.
Maintenance.
We'll maintenance this video.
Well, you look like a pleb right now.
I
man.
can
Don't
already.
worry.
I'm hard.
I can already say an inside joke.
look like one pleb
Anyway,
right
no,
now.
I
That's
but
maintenance.
bro. Let's wrap up. Let's wrap up.
Let's wrap up. And what would you tell to your future self, like in 5 to 10 years down the line, and you'll be watching this again, and then you say, what would you tell?
I'll tell my future self, do your thing, keep doing your thing, and don't stop doing your thing.
Simple.
Pick up that thing.
Big up there. Thank you very much, everyone
up.
who watching and listening. And this is wrapped up. And thank you for coming. We really appreciate you having you here.
No worries.
Ayo,
man.
if you don't subscribe, yeah, if you don't subscribe, then
Please.
Stormy is gonna pull up outside your house.
Can I lie? Have you said this every episode? This don't subscribe thing.
Nah.
Yeah,
Are
this
you
is
sure,
it.
bro?
Yeah,
Are
100%.
you sure, bro?
100%. This
Are
is
you
the
sure?
first time. Yeah, 100%.
Are you sure, bro?
Yeah, you can ask. You can
Yeah.
ask.
'Cause I was gonna back it with you. Like, yeah, you man better subscribe to these things. So,
Yeah, but subscribe.
If you want to
man.
say that, if you want to say that, it's come. Go on.
I
Subscribe.
already kind of said.
Pull out your
it.
Insta.
Yeah.
Huh? Pull out what your
Pull out
stuff?
your Insta, bro.
Well, why did
Yeah.
you pull out the moosh?
Anyway, thank you for listening and peace out.
Alright.